Evening all, it's Ginger Dad, back with another video for the channel Ginger Dad Games, and tonight we're going to be looking at Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. Now, you've seen from the unboxing video, Dragon Ball is sort of one of my favourite animes, favourite series, and this is really fun mobile game. There's lots to do, lots of content to play through it. Bandai really support it and have a lot of stuff in there. In the middle, we're in the middle of the 5th anniversary of its release at the minute, so there's lots of really good bonuses. I've actually done really well on summons and things myself. I'm in a few Facebook groups looking at Dokkan Battle, and it's only really the last year that I've taken the game really seriously. I've just had fun with it before and sort of had fun playing the levels and trying to do some challenges, but things like fighting Legend Goku and Super Battle Road I really struggled with because I wasn't really taking it seriously or looking at the units properly or using them in the right way. So it's like the last year I've sort of reached out to different Facebook groups and looked for support and stuff and learnt more about the game and generally got better. And it's in these groups that one of the most common questions I see is that people ask, how on earth do you beat the Fighting Legend Goku event? So what I wanted to do is a really basic sort of idiots, if you will, guide, not to call anyone an idiot, but a sort of very basic guide to team building, squad team that will be able to take on the Fighting Legend Goku. Now, really, you want to look at a team that prioritises defence and stacking defence, so that by the time you get to the Goku of Ultra Instinct and then Mastery of Ultra Instinct, the defence is so high that you can just tank hits with take very little damage. I sort of look at the Fighting Legend Goku as it doesn't matter how long it takes, it doesn't matter, you're not looking to do the most damage output, and you can build teams and do that. I've seen people do that, but for me the key thing is to build up the defence. So we're just going to look at a way that you can do that, and it's really just looking at super attacks and passive skills. And like I say, there's people out there that will think this video is really stupid and really dumb because they're actually experts and much better at this game already and have the units available to them. But as for me, when I first started trying to take on Goku, something like this video would have been really useful, just to have a basic look at it and see how can I build a team, what am I looking for in a team to take on Goku. So let's go and have a look at it first. So we'll have a look at the Goku event. There's loads of different things you can do. If you look at the missions, I've done 25 out of 34, so some of the missions like the fusion category, you get to it, you beat it with a clearly challenge event, find out Goku with 6 fusion category characters on your team. If you look at the ongoing ones, look at the ones I've had success in with Katara and Cell Saga Realm of Gods. And there's some that's literally just for beating the stage several times, so you're going to get something, but also for clearing the phases. And the rewards for these are tickets for a Goku specific summon. And I've seen people pull LRs on this summon, but I mean I've got an SSR for one of the movie heroes Goku and stuff, and it's a decent reward, but the accomplishment, the reward is more beating Goku itself. So, I mean, the first thing to sort of think about is you may not have the units to beat him, and that's okay. If you're free to play or pay to play, just like keep playing, keep plugging away. If you're free to play, keep grinding stones, grinding out things like the Team Bardock or Ginyu Force if you've not already got them, taking advantage of things like the anniversary, try and get good units and just keep building up. Give it some time and eventually be able to do it, just like you can with this and Super Battle Road and so on. And it's okay to not have the units, but the game actually gives you out quite a lot of good free-to-play units that you can get from events that stack defense really well. And there's actually a lot of my teams use these free-to-play units, which we'll show you in a minute. But first off, so there's the different missions and things. If you really want to hit them, I mean, I've got Time Travelers left, Wicked Bloodline, Android, Future Saga, maybe Bosses, Transformation Boost, Universe Survival Saga, Saiyans, Fusion, still left. So actually, I'm relatively close. I've got to Mastery of Ultra Instinct on Universe Survival Saga. I think I just need a dupe or 2 more in some of my characters to be able to beat them. Same with the Time Travelers. I've got a bit better with that now. Time Travelers actually, and Future Saga one, where is it? I've built a team that once I've awakened should be able to beat it. But anyway, enough of that. So let's go and have a look at that character. So I've got 565 cards, not all of them are awakened. I've got some decent units, I've got some poor units, I've got some I don't really understand, so they're just in there. If they've got an SSR marker on them, I generally just favourite them and keep them there. So really what you want to be doing is focusing on a team. Like I said, there's a different category of missions. I think the best team, the team I found most effective at beating Goku is a pure Saiyans team. The Android Cell Saga one was quite good as well. But you want to look at their skills in particular. So what you want to do is sort of filter out here. And the key thing is you go to skill effects, go to the super attack, and you're looking at raised defense here. Okay? And this is at the most basic level, this is what you want to look at, and this is going to bring up every character. Don't put any other modifiers on your search here, no types or super or extreme, unless you've got a specific vision for a team in mind. And then just, okay, and this will filter out everyone that will raise their defense on performing the super attack. So there's quite a lot of characters here, but don't let that deceive you, because some of them won't be specifically raising their defense in the way we want. So we're going to look at a character that I know does it. And this is one of the best free-to-play units. There's two of them, but starting off here, we've got the free-to-play Super Trunks Exchange unit. So, as you can see, it's pretty good unit. You can get it from one of the cell story modes, or you have to activate its potential. Then this is an Extreme Z Awakening for him as well. It's a good unit. It's relatively strong with defense, HP and attack. He's passive skill is good. He gives plus 2 key and attack plus in defense 90%. He weakens regeneration, which is useful not against Goku but just in general. He's got a good skill that's useful but not against Goku. Okay, so when he exchanges, he will exchange with Super Trunks, which you can see here. Now Super Trunks is different because he gets key plus 7 and attack and defense plus 140%. So short term he's really good, but then his attack and defense start to balance, and you really need to stack defense against Goku. Also, as you can see, he raises attack and defense for 1 turn. If you go back to Vegeta, he raises attack and defense, and that's key. What you're looking for in characters is someone that raises attack and defense and they have no modifier, say, for example, for X amount of turns. Because if they do that, they will raise and raise and raise infinitely until you beat this thing. Or you'll beat it yourself. Another one, a sort of partner unit to this, is the exchange Super Saiyan Goku and Super Saiyan Gohan. Again, this one raises defense. So, the difference is, if someone raises defense, they will raise that defense slightly higher than someone who raises attack and defense at the same time. I think there's about a 10% difference, I'm sure. Don't quote me on it. If you want to look on the Dokkan Battle wiki, there is an article there that tells you the defense increases for raises defense, greatly raises defense, massively raises defense, raises attack and defense, and so on. So he raises defense. So this guy has been hit by a super on the Mastery of Ultra Instinct Goku stage for me before. And bear in mind that the MUI Goku has type advantage against him, and he still only takes 10 damage, and that's really what you're looking for. He's also good because he gives Goku's family connected allies key plus 2 attack and defense plus 30. The passive skills are good, but if you really are just a beginner and you're really just looking at basic team building, just start to focus on these and start to think, what team can these be used in? So he raises defense, buzz screen damage to enemy, and lower attack. And the key is you can just get anyone in the game, you don't need to spend any stones, you just need to spend some time developing the character. Another free-to-play unit which you can get from the Supreme Car missions and from using gems in the shop is this LR Ghetto, who is incredible. So you get him as this unit here, and you build him. So he raises attack and defense from the get-go anyway, but then you build him up to the different stages till he's an LR, and obviously he's an LR, he's really strong, but also his Vegetto sword raises attack and defense. And because he's already got quite high defense as an LR character, he gets a good raise of attack and defense, and he deals out some good damage towards the end of the stage as well. Now just be wary. Obviously as an LR, they get the key from 18 to 24 as well, that makes it an ultra super attack. For his Guardian Impact attack, he only greatly raises attack, so to get the most out of him, you just want your key to stay between 12 and 18. That's really it. What you just be careful for is characters like I don't know if this Gohan, for example, who greatly raises defense for a turn. Just try and avoid, to start with, the people that raise defense for 1 turn until you're a bit more experienced. And also, one thing to look at here is, so let's look at someone who knows it. So you've got, then be aware of the characters with transformations, such as Super Saiyan Gohan. So he raises his attack and defense and causes damage. And then you'll transform each successive turn. When he goes to Super Saiyan 2, he's still raising attack and defense. Goes to Super Saiyan 3, still raising attack and defense. Goes to Super Saiyan God Goku, still raising attack and defense. Then he reaches his blue form, and he just does an immense damage with chance to stun the enemy. However, on this skill he performs a critical hit guaranteed, so you can get him in there for damage. And towards the end of the Goku stage, he is a bit defensively frail because he doesn't stack the defense. There is a way around this for certain characters, and it's something to be aware of, to look at. Obviously, you know you can reverse back and away from characters, so just look at the growth, look at the stage before. And he raises attack and defense. So one way around it, especially if you want to fit him on a Pure Saiyans or Goku's family team, is just to reverse him. And then he'll reverse back and awaken him, and then he just constantly raises attack and defense. And he was really good in my first Pure Saiyans team as well. I've since got better characters in the Pure Saiyans team, so actually he sort of fell out of the rotation a bit, such as these guys. But these are just ridiculous to raise defense, and they can have like over 1 million defense by the time you get to Goku, plus all the attacks they do. They're ridiculous. But like I said earlier, sometimes you may not just have the units, and that's okay. Just get the summons in when you can and try and build up these squads from there. So let's go back actually, look at the team, and we'll just get rid of one on that. This is an extreme team I was trying to take on Super Battle over it. Change up. Sort of start to look at my right. I'm thinking of my people that raise defense. What's the best teams I can do with them? So for me, I already know that this Super Saiyan Vegeta, again the transformation one, so I'll just show as he where when he gets to here he doesn't raise his defense anymore. I've always found him a bit better than the Goku, simply because he gets type advantage against Goku in the last of the Fighting Legend stage, and he just seems to raise his defense a bit better as well. I'm not sure why, but that type advantage for defense and attack is brilliant. Also, his leader skill of Pure Saiyans or Super Classic is good, so it just gives you two options for building a team. So, for example, I have him as my leader. Now, I've got two quite top tier units for the Fighting Legend Goku, and these have been implementing quite a few of my weapons. This guy, because he raises attack and defense, but then if you look at his passive, he gives it attack and defense plus 20% per key sphere obtained, plus attack and defense plus 10% if it's a fizz key sphere, and it changes random key spheres into at a certain time to physical key spheres. So he's generating his own ki and getting really strong from that while stacking his defense. So obviously that's the bonus of looking at the passive skill there, because you think, okay, he raises attack and defense. Actually, he also is just an absolute unit because he can instantly raise stuff when he collects key spheres, which is good for tanking hits in the early stages. His sort of the one I see as his partner is this guy, who raises attack and defense, and then again changes them to tech key spheres. Now I've got less dupes in him, so he's slightly more frail. Also, beware of running key sphere changing characters on the same team, because you can have them both in the same rotation. They'll change the key spheres up a bit. So I've had it where he's changed all of them to tech, but the Goku has then changed a lot to the tech spheres to physical key spheres. That's a mouthful. So actually, you don't get into a bonus because you're taking them away from each other. Otherwise, if you can get there, if you're pretty lucky with the rotation, then you do quite well. So anyway, also just to point out for these, if you're looking for a category, then they've got lots of them as well. So they were good for movie heroes, Realm of the Gods stage, Vegeta's family stage, this one in particular. And also he's a Pure Saiyan, so obviously he is going to go. He's brilliant. Same as this guy, he was in here. Now, as mentioned here, for me I'd have this Goku because he raises defense. Category is Pure Saiyans, as long as you don't exchange him. But as mentioned, just for the Fighting Legend Goku challenge, it's not worth exchanging, even at the end stage when you've built up your defense. And obviously, as we've just discussed here, so now the last slot could be taken by anyone really, because any Super or Pure Saiyan. So it's sort of neutral. So for me, obviously, I've got the option to put in Kale and Coppola. So I do that because they are ridiculous. But also, if I wanted to, you could put Elava Ghetto in. Who else? Oh, of course. Cauliflower is a real brilliant unit. She raises attack and defense, but against Goku in particular, she's brilliant because she's guaranteed to dodge a pure Saiyan's category enemy. Now the only thing to be aware about something like that is on the Mastery of Ultra Instinct stage of Goku, he basically negates any dodge abilities. His attacks will always hit no matter what you're doing. So I think we put him in with Tail and Cauliflower. And then we confirm that, so I'd be happy. That's a team I'd be really happy with. Otherwise, I'd probably put, this is a recent acquisition for me from the anniversary, the Super Saiyan Gohan Youth. Got 2 dupes of him out of 1 summon, so I was really pleased with that because he's fit in, he's help me do the Hybrid Saiyan Super Battle Road, he's helped me do Android Cell Saga mission for Goku, so he's a class unit as well. But don't be afraid, even ones like this, look. This Trunks raises defense, causes spring damage to enemy, so he takes a while to get going, so he's got less defense to start with, but he's pretty good. So just the most important thing is to read your super attacks. Go down to here, go on to the skill effect, super attack, raise defense, and make sure you're looking at defense that doesn't come with a modifier, so it just says raises defense, as you can see here, and you will raise that defense. So by the time you get Goku, you're tanking some hits and that's brilliant. So let's just make this team, and we'll confirm, and then I'll just show you sort of like sensible items to pick, and then we'll sign out for there. You can start thinking about the teams you want to build, and then I will make another video soon using this team to take on the Goku challenge, so we can sort of see what we're building. So let's go to the event. So there's sensible items to take. Obviously take one of the best friends you've got for the thing you're doing, for the mission you're doing. Obviously for me, pure seconds. Like this guy. Special filter, bullish. So just brings up the G. Obviously you're taking 100% potential, super attacks up, rainbow attack up, motherfucker. You've got to take it. So that's the team we just made. So now I'm just thinking about support items. I always used to use Senzu Beans or Dendays. I thought the only things that give you all your health back, but actually there's some more sensible options. So key for, don't take anything other than really Ghost Usher, King Yemma. So I should explain. Ghost Usher delays all opponent attack on turn, so it just completely wipes out all of the attacks. If you manage to keep those to the end stages and your defense is a bit frail, or in the stages where your defense is still a bit frail because you're waiting to build it up, or say Ultra Instinct Goku is going to hit one of your tech characters with type advantage and you're not sure about the defense, or Vegeta's not built up his defense, that's your time to just wipe out all the attacks and just sort of like go from there. So when it's got you more defensively frail characters, King Yemma is a good one to take because he reduces damage by 50% per turn. King Yemma I'm only using because, I just bought from the exchange shop using my Baba points, Whis, who reduces 40% for 2 turns, so you get a bit more value out of him because it's 2 turns rather than 1, even if it's 10% less, and Icarus again, 35% for 2 turns. Yemma, Icarus, Whis, one of them should take the slot, whichever one you prefer. And then the other 2 important ones, Android 8, recovers 70% HP, so if you're low health it gets it pretty much, almost like a full heal really, and then your allies get 50% defense for 2 turns. Can't argue with that. Princess Snake, you can sort of grind her out from story mode, but she recovers over half your health and reduces 30% to 1 turn, so you get that boost and you get that defensive impact from it as well. There are other items to use, I've seen people use, but more for Super Battle. In the Goku event, things like the frog, it doesn't work out for you very well. So the best choice is if that was me for this, when we'll play this one, to actually we're going to use take the beats instead, and then we'll start. So anyway guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe and like, and stay tuned next time for when we use this team to take on the Goku event. Okay, take care guys, see you soon.